The MENA region is one of the most affected regions on climate impact. We are envisaging about 100 million of its population to be basically affected from direct effect of climate change. Sadly, climate change is not a priority, nor on a public sphere, nor on the government. There are several reasons for that. Partly the conflict that the region has been living in several countries being in direct conflict or direct war. Part of it is the lack of financing and lack of support within these governments. Most frightening for us as activists and campaigners is actually the lack of interest and priority in putting it high on the agenda. And when I say putting it high on the agenda, is actually doing actual work on it, rather than just basically saying climate change is happening and attending meeting after the other, right? Because we want to see actual policy change. Few governments are doing work, and I think that need to be recognized. Government like Morocco, government like Egypt, like Jordan, the Gulf state, of course, who have money, are putting some effort on changing and making some policy change, but it is not yet to the level that is required in dealing with the problem that the region will face. We're not seeing any effort done to protect people from fires. We have seen very vicious fire in the entire MENA region in the past summer. We're seeing floods now in most of these countries, and none of the countries now are ready for this kind of impact of extreme weather. And we consider this to be a priority for them to act on, as well as adaptation work. There is an active civil society in the region, and it's acting on environmental issues, but on climate change, it's still not the same scale of all environmental issues. There is interest in environmental adaptation models in the conference and the conventions that are happening. It's quite interesting to see that the upcoming 2 COP that are going to follow from the current COP in Glasgow, going to be in the MENA region, one in Egypt and one in the UAE. So we hope, my hope is that this kind of event will basically put this topic on the priority and help the civil society voices to be heard, because they're not really heard. And what we're seeing is that they are welcome, they give their statement, but they're not yet partner in making the change in the policies and in the work that need to be done on the ground. Totally. The narrative of climate change in the MENA region is very far away, especially on the general public level. We only hear about climate when there is a big conference or when any of the Arab countries host a climate meetings or climate related event. And I'm talking about the mainstream. Of course, the civil society, the expert, the scientist, the observer, they're all aware. They're all trying to voice their concern. But from a general public point of view, it is not. And this is affecting the decision being made by the government, because the government are not feeling that pressure. They're not feeling that heat that is requiring them to act more precisely and more positively and more effectively to solve climate impact in a region.